A little while ago, I was doing a test for a consulting client of mine, and I set up 2 identical funnels. Standard thing, traffic source, landing page, offer. They were utterly identical, same offer, except that on one of them, the offer loaded in 5 seconds, and on one of them, the offer loaded effectively instantaneously. Here is the conversion rate I got for the offer that loaded in 5 seconds. 7.95%, 8%. Spoiler, this was not enough to make me profitable. Here is the conversion rate I got from the identical funnel with the instant loading offer. 16%, literally double. This is how much difference it makes. But here is the twist. The offer was completely identical. It was the same 5-second loading offer page in both funnels. The way I changed the loading time, Besmir, as I mentioned, had a lot of optimized casual dating campaigns, and he was getting sick of building someone else's business. So he decided to go into white label. Now, for those of you who don't know what white label is, it's where you rent access to an existing database for a dating company, but you skin the site that sends leads to it entirely as you like, and you get paid on revenue share from people who sign up. So he set this all up. It took one of his campaigns, set up a white label site that perfectly reflected that angle, and started pouring in traffic. And initially, things didn't look too good. He spent about $60K on this in 3 months. He looked at this, and he did what most of us would do. He went, screw that, and went and did something else. But because he had built his own asset, that wasn't the end of the story. After 8 months, the white label dating site's recurring revenues combined had made him more money than he would have done if he'd poured that $60K into the original campaign. Now, can I get a guess from the audience as to how many months it was before these numbers tailed off? Before it wasn't making any more revenue? Shout out a number. Pi, Planck's constant, anything. 10, I heard 10. That is a good guess, and actually, I cannot tell you what the right answer is. And the reason I cannot tell you is that 3.5 years after Besmir started this white label campaign, the revenues have still not stopped flowing. He cashed over $2,000 as a monthly check from this thing last month.
You want to develop a strategy based on skill. You want to develop a system. So profitable campaigns are built through split tests and optimization, not by throwing shit against the wall. Number 2, small wins add up. So I notice a lot of newbies, they think, man, if only I knew cloaking, if only I knew this special script, I'd become profitable. But my style of affiliate marketing is small wins. It's based on Kaizen, the Japanese philosophy of continuous improvement, daily improvement. So some of the split tests out there I do, like headlines, whatever, they're not sexy. But sometimes I'll do it, here's 5%. I'll split test my landing page, here's 5%. I'll add in another little script, there's 10%. But it's just the relentless testing me and my team do every single day. It adds up, the compound effect. Number 3, don't be emotional. Some of you guys are like little girls when you lose money. And it's natural, it's loss aversion. But you have to understand, when I launch a campaign, I'm a scientist. I'm performing marketing experiments. There's a hypothesis and I split test. So when I lose money on a campaign, I'm not thinking about the opportunity cost. I'm not thinking, man, that $500 I gotta buy a PS4. I'm buying data. I am investing in my future. So let's get started.
The things you can do if you're building a business, I think, is to always look for distribution of risk. To distribute risk in as many places as possible. So, for instance, that might mean multiple traffic sources, multiple buyers of your product, your leads, whatever it is, as many as you can. And then on top of that, you always have to have a strategy for dealing with compliance. Right? And it can be an issue. These things happen. This is one of the first times I realized Yahoo was a crap company. Was back in 2006 when I got a call from their revenue depletion team. And we were running 250,000 keywords on Yahoo, very successfully. People obviously loved what we were doing because we were converting and we were able to pay for that. And they said, we don't think you should be advertising on these 100,000 keywords, so we're turning them off tomorrow. And we were making a lot of money off those. We were on a very steep growth path, and we were trying to show that, we were building the company to be able to sell at some point. You don't want to have a blip like that. And it was a big deal, but because we also had Google and Bing and Ask Jeeves at the time, and we also had other larger customers which we could backfill on the other engines, we were able to deal with that. But we had to be on top of that. We had to know what they were doing and why, because we knew Google and Bing were going to do it soon, and they did. So you have to be on top of that. There's always going to be these issues, but if you have a strong story, any acquirer is going to understand that we deal with this, right? We deal with companies that control entire markets, like
you
Google
can really
and
own
Facebook.
equity in and can take to the next level, and that continue to want to always strive to find something that can become bigger. And I guess that's what really eventually gave me the inspiration to start this company, Elite Daily, where at the time, I was in my mid-20s. I had an intern who was like an apprentice to me named David Arabov. And he came to me and he had an idea that he wanted to start a millennial website. And we were looking at the landscape of content and how it was evolving, and how us as millennials, the way that we read content and the way that we engage with content is completely changing. Especially with this ADD generation. And then we started looking at all the publications that were out there, like New York Times, the Huffington Post, and all these other big publications that were kind of handed down to our generation and weren't really, speaking to our generation. They weren't for us or by us. And we felt a lot of the millennial sites that were out there around content were more niche-based. They were more talking about, sports, a lot about college or gossip, entertainment, but there's nothing that was like mass market, hitting every vertical for the Generation Y. So we decided, this is a gap that we can close. This is something that we can fill. This is something that we're passionate about. So, I took David, we co-founded it. We brought on another partner of ours, Jonathan San Pedro, and one of the hardest working individuals that I've ever had a chance to work with. He was a little bit more tech savvy. I was the first president of the company, more high level strategy, marketing, and David we put in a position for CEO, really had the same qualities that I saw myself when I was 19, this ambition, this hunger, this drive, this tenacity, and also, I believed that he really understood the content of millennials as well, even younger than me. So we started and we bootstrapped it. We started it in my apartment. And, at first, to be honest with you, we weren't too sure. We were like, we got to test out. We understand that we feel that there's a market demand for it because this is what we're looking for, a publication like this. But we really have to test out, what is really going to get, our generation, what kind of content is really going to work. And we understood it was going to take time to really master the art of what would get people to really engage. And I feel like with that, whatever business you're in, or marketing right now, it really is a numbers game in some capacity, understanding the analytics, understanding, your cost per acquisition, and mastering the different ways to build traffic and convert that traffic. And, but for us, it was even a step further than that. And I think that it's key that we always remember that behind all of that data in this data-driven economy, that it's about people. And for us, it was how can we make sure that we're creating the content that is going to connect people and create an emotion, that's going to get them to engage and eventually get them to share, because that's our product. And eventually, that's basically how we were going to monetize. And we really, really just focused initially. We didn't really focus on monetization. We really just focused on mastering the brand identity, understanding what the values were behind our company, and mastering the content that was going to get our target audience, millennials, to really want to engage with it, to whatever their opinion was. And I think one key thing for us was being completely raw.
Make it easy, streamline things, and just in general. I think you should focus on starting with a small core team and letting someone naturally get kind of promoted to a more managerial role. As Besmir kind of mentioned, the people who probably at a higher level in his team in terms of management, they are probably people he's had with him for a long time who have just naturally grown to that as they, learn more about the business, they know how Besmere works, they can deal with his like 3 a.m. random messages about something from Amsterdam or wherever he is in the world. Yeah, just grow that team kind of naturally. Don't try and have this amazing structure or corporate structure for how your team works when you are kind of hiring your first team member. Just get the people you need to do whatever you need them to do and use basic technologies and let things go from there, and then leverage the advice that these guys give you.
My father just told me, you want to be successful, hire people that are smarter than you. Now, in that instance, that's not so difficult for me, so I've really had not many problems finding quality people. I guess the biggest issue that I've faced, or that you're likely to face, is that because you start small, it's like a family. Yeah, you can all fit around the one dinner table. Yeah, and you get to know them. There's a relationship if you go there online, or once a year you go and visit them. As your business grows bigger, yeah, you naturally want to get these people that started with you to grow with you. Yeah, to take on the challenge to get more responsibilities, more salary, more everything else.
Trifecta. Why the tetra trifecta? Because it's extremely hard to pronounce, but really it's just 3 concepts that are at the core of every single creative that my team and I create. And I believe that these are the 3 most important things that you can ever have for your ads. First one, relevance. Relevance means your user knows exactly what you're selling without any copy. What's an example? Something like that. Not the sexiest ad ever, but you can go and ask your local grocer. I guarantee you that this ad works. Why? You look at that, bananas, 55 cents. You have the bananas in front of you. You see what you're selling. You can inspect the product. User has everything he needs to make the purchase. A lot of affiliate ads I see, I just don't even know what it is that they're selling. And if you confuse people, you know they're not going to convert. Emotional impact. Now, affiliates I find are generally in one side or the other of this. You get really, really intense images, or you will get images that just are not very good at all. So this actually isn't my most emotional picture, but I figure it's an affiliate marketing conference, so something like this, with our favorite doctor, which every affiliate loves to quote in their landing pages. Why is it emotional? Because your eye looks at it, you're drawn to the pink, and you immediately notice, oh, that's a person. And then what I'm saying with emotional impact is that your images have to be so powerful that your brain forces you to pay attention to it. Last one, clarity. Can you take a quick glance at it and know instantly what the image is about? This is actually kind of similar to relevance if you take a quick look at it, but something like this. This is an image I created in 2013. If you have an Android phone, you probably know what this image is about right away, even if there's no ad copy or anything like that. In general, these 3 factors are synergistic to each other. Like, for example, it's not going to be very easy to have a relevant ad that's also extremely unclear, because if you don't know what it is that you're selling, what it is that you're looking at, you don't know what the person is selling either.